We are all more connected to the ocean than most of us probably realize. Maybe you know that the body of water we call the ocean makes up over 70% of our planet. But did you know that we can actually find traces of the ocean almost anywhere we look? Most of the air we breathe comes from the ocean. Seagrass and these tiny little creatures called phytoplankton that drift through the water column provide around 70% of the oxygen we breathe. The first water on Earth fell into basins and formed the ocean, from which the water cycle has been moving water around the planet for billions of years. All the water that there is on Earth today is all the water that there has ever been, circulating the planet in an endless cycle. So if you think about it, each molecule of water, whatever form it's in, was at one point or another ocean water and will one day be again. And if you consider that, then you can begin to find traces of the ocean almost anywhere you look, because water is almost anywhere we look. From the water that's in the air we breathe to the water we drink, from the rain and sleet and snow that falls from the sky to creeks and streams and rivers and lakes, from the water in the ground to the water that comes out of our taps, from the water in the plants and trees to the water in the crops we grow and the food we eat. It's in the body of animals that we share this planet with, and in the vapor of fogs and mists. Even deserts, the driest and most seemingly unlikely of places, are connected to the ocean. Water that evaporates from the ocean's surface gets blown for hundreds of miles to fall on these dry plains, and large quantities of desert dust particles get blown to the ocean, where the nutrients they carry help fuel tiny marine plant organisms that form the base of the entire marine food chain. No matter who you are or where you live, there is water around you, and through it, a connection to the ocean. Our entire climate and weather systems are tied to the ocean. If you live in the tropics, your temperatures are kept from being unbearably hot thanks to the cool waters that ocean currents transport from the poles to the tropics. And if you live in colder climates, your temperatures are kept from being unbearably cold thanks to the warm water ocean currents transport from the tropics. Large-scale changes in currents change entire weather patterns and systems around the world. They can cause drier places to experience more cyclones and droughts, and wetter places to experience more flooding and tornadoes. That's why it's so important to get our carbon emissions and such under control. Because if we heat the planet too much, if sea levels rise from melting ice caps, it will cause major changes to ocean currents, and thus weather patterns and climates all around the world. No matter how many miles inland you are, even if you've never seen the ocean in your entire life, what you do impacts the ocean. All drains and waterways lead to the ocean, so what you throw on the ground gets blown into creeks and rivers that transport it to the ocean, where it impacts marine life. If you use chemicals to wash your car at home, then keep in mind that those chemicals get washed into stormwater drains that eventually lead to and further pollute the ocean. And if you consume marine life, then chances are you're probably consuming the very pollutants and chemicals you put into the environment in the first place. We build lives around sources of water, but we need to remember that the way that we live those lives impacts that water in turn, and by consequence impacts the ocean too. If we want to continue to survive and thrive on this planet, then we need to remember just how connected to the ocean we all are, and really start considering how our actions on land affect it. While our lands may be separate, they are all connected by the one singular ocean. The water that reaches the shores of California today probably once kissed the shores of Australia, of South Africa, and Japan. We travel across the ocean, transport goods across it, and share and pass down stories about it. It connects us to our past and to our ancestors. The same water brushing against the hull of your ship today, of your boat today, may have one day brushed against the hull of reed boats sailed along the Nile by ancient Egyptians, or the voyaging canoes of Polynesian wayfinders as they discovered new islands, or the hull of a Viking ship, or a caravel sailed by 15th century Europeans as they mapped uncharted lands and waters, and it will one day connect us to our own descendants. There's this notion that water has memory. If you entertain the idea of this being true, then think of the secrets and stories it could tell us of where it's been and who it's come in contact with. We create divisions amongst ourselves, but in the ocean we are all equal. Age, colour, money, status, None of it is of any consequence in the vast watery world. However you feel about it, the ocean is the beating heart of our planet. We need it to survive, so it's time we started taking much better care of it. Our futures depend on what actions we take to protect the ocean now. Whoever you are, wherever you live, there are things that you can do to make a difference. Never underestimate the power of the choices you make or the power of using your voice. So speak up, educate yourself and others, make better choices, and remember your connection to the big blue. If you liked this video and would like to see more videos about the ocean or my art, support me in my passion and help me to hopefully inspire more people to like and care for our oceans, then clicking away would apparently be really helpful with that. So yeah, click the buttons. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye!